Going on YouTube, Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, guys?
To record the final match of the bracket tournament.
Yeah, this is hype, man.
Yeah.
If you don't want to restart this is really hype. What this is the culmination of 12 other matches that have happened.
Roughly.
No, like exactly 12. Yeah, I did the math. I was going to ask.
Was this the 12th, though?
This is the 13th, man.
Oh.
The 12th and the 11th were the top 4 matches.
Oh, well, there you go. You're right.
Yeah, I am.
So tell the people what we got.
We have, on the left, Lightwater Fire Dragons. I'm piloting that deck. And Carl playing his old favorite that made it all the way to the finals, Lightwater Nature Megabug Tempo on the right. And both of these decks, actually, it wasn't necessarily going to happen like this, but neither of them have taken a loss so far, Carl.
Yeah.
They both 2-0'd their respective groups.
Yeah, Bugs triumphing over the pile, and then, was it Light Dark Nature, mid-range?
Yep, with Light Fire Rush just not being a contender in that group.
And winning its top 4 match a couple days ago versus Light Water Dark Tempo as well. And then Dragon's Road was almost seemingly as easy. Yeah, who'd it play first?
I know well, I guess it did.
No, it played Nature.
Yeah, Mono Nature mid-range.
Yeah, it beat Nature, and then which was unexpected. We thought that was going to go differently.
Yeah, at least be tough for it.
Yeah, and then
it did go to game 3. Yeah, I think, pretty sure.
Perhaps. And then it played against
was it Kalima?
Light Water Dark Tempo.
Oh yeah, it did. It beat the Tempo deck. Yeah,
and it beat the Tempo as well.
Yeah. Never had to play against Kalima. That would have been an interesting match.
Yeah. So all the votes. Sorry for all you Light Water Dark fans and
including
fans.
Me. Yeah.
But it's weird. Like people were voting for Light Water Dark Nature or Light Water Dark Tempo and Light Water Dark Nature Pile. Because I just felt like those two decks couldn't actually win the tournament. If Dragons beats, I guess unless Pile gets there. And
I think Light Water Dark had a chance because one of the Tempo decks is obviously going to win, and it's a pretty close matchup. So that's understandable that some people would think Light Water Dark would win. I would be rooting for Light Water Dark personally as well. But one of those is going to win, and if the Pile beats Dragons, the Tempo deck just wins. So either the Tempo decks probably win. But it's interesting that people think the Pile's going to win because Pile just can't really beat any of the Tempo decks if it happens to get by Dragons, which in this case, it didn't even get by Dragons.
Right. Yeah. So that was, it was interesting to see all the votes. But for all you Dragon fans and Bug fans out there, here we go.
Yeah, Dragons especially took the slightly unfavored matchup. That was the one we thought we had down. Pile's probably just going to win 2-1 or 2-0, and Dragons took it, man. Went all the way to that game 3 and just got there.
Yeah, but, Dragons versus Tempo, I think, in, how Kaijudo's history kind of worked its way out, Dragons always had the favorite matchup here.
It did.
I always felt like I was, the underdog playing Bugs. I played Bugs a lot, and anytime I found myself against the Dragons, it was always very skill-intensive. I didn't win because the deck was better than Dragons. I won because I was better than the other player across the table.
Yeah. Or they just draw completely garbage.
Yeah. Those games happen rarely, but it did happen. And
as we can kind of see here, because I had a Lux, but it was a turn 4 Lux, which isn't really what you want to be doing on turn 4. Turn 5 Lyra's okay, I guess, but he had already had a good curve. My hand was actually just the Storm Spark, the Arbiter, and the Hyperspeed that you saw me put down the first 3 turns in mana. Another turn 5 Red Dragon, the Hyperspeed or a Herald, I can't remember which, and something else gigantic that I haven't played in mana yet, maybe.
So that was a shame. Yeah. So that's the reason Bugs is having a pretty good start here and continues the onslaught, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and this is the point, I've even got a Finbar and a Hive Queen in my hand. I think I could have just done that last turn, and I just didn't, because why give him a Lyra when I can hold those 2 cards for bigger threats, I just
kill it.
Things are going really well for me on that side of the table.
And as we talked about when, I think it was either Megabugs or Light Water Dark was playing against Mono Nature. Basically, Tempo decks are favored against mid-range decks, and, Dragons at heart is a mid-range deck. It just has Finbars to give itself better control matchup, but it's a mid-range deck. Yeah. And the thing about it is, when it draws poorly, it's just a very slow mid-range deck that Tempo just has a field day with, such as this situation entirely. But when it draws any sort of better with Birds into Herald or anything, it just becomes completely unfair out of nowhere and can do insanely combo-oriented turns that no deck can really come back from.
Well, yeah, the idea, because that's the thing, you said it is, again, it is primarily a mid-range deck, but when you draw the curve, when you have the Lux Nyx, Herald, Lyra, that's just that's a tempo play. Like it's weird that a mid-range deck can do those things.
You are
all
playing
of a sudden,
off curve. Like you're playing a 6-mana card for 4 mana, and you're killing something and getting a 9-mana card out of your hand. Like that you're just using all of your mana that you don't even have, like so efficiently.
Turns dragons into a deck that really is the only deck that can do things like that.
Yeah.
So, it's really cool. And
knowing all the combos you can do with like Herald, Hyperspeed into Herald into like attacking with different dragons, like when you do have a lot of cards, like early in the game it's not really relevant, but when you like can plan turns and turns ahead and think of how you're actually going to make those combo plays that can win you the game or lose you the game, like it was, despite being really overpowered, one of the more skill intensive decks. It takes me back to like Grim Patron before the nerf for all you Hearthstone players. Like it's such a good combo deck that it's really upsetting and probably was too good for the game. But it's still like one of the most skill-intensive decks to play.
Yeah, I mean it is at the end of the day. I mean it's completely unfair, and I can't remember what I was gonna say something on that line.
I've put it in my booty.
Yeah, I did.
That's something to say.
And I don't know where I was gonna go with that.
It's okay. It's early in the morning.
Oh, just like the lines of play that you can make. I mean, because that's the thing. Like Kaijudo, for the most part, had a singular line of play. You played the card that had the number that matched how many cards were in your mana zone. That's
Which is
usually
still kind of what you're doing with dragons, but you have to think ahead.
Exactly. But I mean, like you said, you get to those later turns, like 6, 7, and 8, when you sort of started something on board, like all of a sudden you've got plays that interact with your own plays. Like you're interacting with yourself, which is cool. Your opponent just sits on the other side of the table and hopes that you stop interacting with yourself, but you just keep interacting with yourself.
Yeah.
And it sounds dirty, and it really is.
And that's why most decks besides the pile, like almost every deck besides the pile, is just strictly unfavored against dragons, besides maybe a Nuts aggro start. But like if you're attacking shields at all, like you're leaving yourself open to those plays, especially with the deck that runs excuse me. I had a lot of gas in my throat drinking a carbonated beverage, people. But a lot, like, it has, like, not only the 3 Heralds, because every Dragon deck has them, but this deck runs 2 Hyperspeeds and 2 Jump Jets. Yeah, which, especially, like, the 4-color Dragons, if people were dipping into Darkness or Nature or something, like, they didn't really run all the Hyperspeeds and all the Jump Jets, maybe even cut either or both of those cards.
Yeah,
but both of them are very, very important in giving yourself an edge against aggro. Because you have a Hyperspeed out, all of a sudden Herald's a threat. If you have Jump Jets in your hand, all of a sudden whenever you draw Herald, it just kills something.
And all that too, that's why I like the 3-color dragons, because you get to play all those like utility cards, like cards like Stormspark Blast, which are good against the pile. Yeah. Cards I think we should have played maybe one more of. I think 2 Stormsparks would have been appropriate, even though it did beat the pile. But
I still just like the 1 Stormspark, but whatever.
But and then you've got, like you said, the two Hyperspeed, the 2 Jump Jets for the aggro matchups. The deck sort of doesn't naturally beat tempo, but it pretty naturally beats tempo. Outside of a nuts start for me like last game. And a bad start by him. And then, it's just, as far as mid-range decks go, it just has the better mid-range cards.
So in this matchup, I had a lot of multi-sibs, but I had double Nyx, so I knew I just had to put down my Strider turn 1, drew another Strider, put it down turn 4 to play off curve to play the second Nyx. That's because I know I wanted the Lyra. I was really worried about Piercing Judgment there, because I'm pretty sure Carl would have taken bounce 1 Nyx, tap another, and trade with Manatee.
100%.
Luckily, he only had Rusalka, which, I just don't need to replay the second Nyx. I can just play Lyra for 5 and draw 1 card, and that puts me to a pretty good start, I would say. He had the Broodmother, though. I was hoping it wasn't, Homunculon to tap down my Nyx and kill it, because, I want to play General Skycrusher this turn. I have that.
Yeah, and that's my whole game plan on the other side, is just hoping that he just can stop playing off curve like that, because that's, now I'm super behind.
Yeah, no Piercing and then no Homunculon. He was making good plays for him, but, they weren't really stopping me from making insane plays.
Right. And it's great here, I'm pretty sure I have Hive Queen. The thought process is, I summon Hive Queen, and if I whiff on the effect, I'm just losing now, because he'll just attack with the Skycrusher, and now he's still got Nyx on board to do things with if I can't bounce anything.
And basically, all you need to get is one of your Rusalkas, and one of the 4 Rusalkas, because you run the 3 of the Predator, or 3 of the Chaser and 1 Predator.
Yeah. 2 of the Rusalkas are gone. The bounce one and the Predators and the mana.
So that's a really low chance of actually bouncing the Skycrusher.
Yeah, and I've already seen Homunculon, so that's not going to do anything for me on an effect. But yeah, it's just it's kind of a pain. I'm really behind right now, and I have to set up something and hope he just whiffs a turn.
I mean, I whiffed on dragons, but I still played on curve Nyx Laws, which is fine. I'm okay with that, because I have an Andromeda. I think it's my last card.
The idea here is that I'm just trying to get more than 1 card on the board at this turn, so I can set up a Hive Queen play and somehow have him have a tap creature. Because if I can kill 2 things, I can put myself right back in this game. So I'm pretty sure that's where this Lyra play comes from. Attacking the Nyx there was probably a mistake, but I can't risk Andromeda happening. I want him
it makes sense.
I want him to have to play mana to play his Andromeda. I don't want him to have any cards in hand if he does it.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation because obviously making me play mana is good, especially because I run multi-civs and it could like stall me for multiple turns.
But there's the big guy.
Yeah.
And now we found it's very difficult to win now.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Carl's trading 1 minion for 1 minion, and like I don't really care because if we simplify the board, I'm okay 1-for-1 trading all the time, just because I know at the end of the day I'm gonna have one more thing to play, and you're probably not, especially because your threats also require other things on board already, like Prime and Hive Queen. So I'm like, we can take the trades. I'll kill one of your guys, you can kill one of mine. We can keep doing this. I'll just play a big thing you actually can't kill.
And now I can't summon anything. Like, the whole deck, outside of Swordhorn and Blinder Beetle and Hive Queen, can now just not be played. Piercing, I can play that, but I need to be able to do that, and then also summon things.
Can't actually play Arbiter and Shields, too.
And having 2 mana after a Piercing, it's not enough mana to do much with. So... this is me complaining.
Carl's like, my whole hand's unplayable. And I said, nah, I felt last game.
We've sped this game up, if you can't tell, and that turn still took about a minute.
We were having witty banter, guys. So I have a ton of mana now, and I'm like deciding what to do with it. I don't think did I not play mana that turn? I was debating
logo scan.
Yeah. I like logo scan, man. I think it's a really good card in Dragons as a one of.
Like we said, it's got all the tools it needs to do lots of things.
Because against control, like, you don't always really need to play Nyx on 3. You can just logos into laws and play the laws game. Oh, here's a piercing. Hooray. I didn't know if I should have attacked there, but I did. I have, like, a lot of... I have a jump jets already in my hand,
The problem with this is, like, even if you don't attack the worst... I can't summon Arbiter.
I know, I can.
Chill. No, I can't.
You can. I can't summon Arbiter. Now you can.
But, like... So Infernus gets you past Arbiter, so that's the one blast that you just don't care about. And then if you do hit Piercing like you did, I have to bounce the Infernus in order to get anything set up. Luckily, I got 2 piercings, so...
I mean, there's an argument. If you're ever not sure if you can finish them off the following turn, like, which I had the law, so I'm, like, basically guaranteed to break all 5, and I do have jump jets and a Finbar in my hand. So he plays a blocker, I Finbar, I jump jets, my Finbar, I attack for game. But, like, if you're ever not sure, like, having Infernus out against, like, Water Nature Megabugs for all you people going to your KMCs this weekend in the pre-standard meta, because that's definitely gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
You can just basically sit with Infernus for as long as you want until you feel safe, because they really can't actually do anything to it. The worst they can do is make you replay it. Unless they have, like, 3 Lyras in their hand and can just apparently play them all. Yeah, like, unless you give them 3 turns to play all the Lyras and then kill you with all of them, you really don't have anything to worry about.
Oh, and here I'm actually feeling like, holy shit, like, maybe I can bring something back. And no, it's a Nyx.
Yeah, I had a lot of different ways to do that, obviously, but fast attacking Nyx is definitely, just in case it wasn't good enough throughout the first, like, 7 turns of that game, I'm also just going to kill you with it.
Oh,
and I was complaining about jump jets too. I was like, maybe it should only be 1 in the deck, but then, I drew one of them, and it happened to win me the game, so can't be too upset about it. It's a good card.
Yeah, good game so far, Megabugs putting up a fight, Dragons, battling back. We're trading blow for blow here.
And probably, because it was only played once before this match, but, the power of Infernus the Awakened, man. Like, we only saw it that one time it was played against Mono Nature, and that game didn't seem like it really needed it to happen, but, against
this
game
it mattered, yeah.
Yeah.
It literally just won you this game.
Like, Andromeda would have been good, for sure, but, like, Infernus is just, you can't play cards. Good luck.
I mean, the fun thing about Andromeda is that I can keep bouncing it.
Yeah.
I can still play my things. It sucks. I hate that you played it.
Yeah.
But I can do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can play it again, but...
That's fine.
Yeah, Infernus is just good.
Infernus, I just can't... I get to look at.
I was actually upset when I played it too. I was like, man, I could just attack over the homunculon, and now my Infernus is just going to kill it when I play it. I lost value here. Why can't I kill the Lyre? I was like, never mind, it doesn't matter. And like,
See,
I
that's
the
why
cat
the dark
too.
version's good. Some toxic fogs.
No. God.
I forgot that card existed.
Yeah, I wouldn't play that in that deck. Just have Bone Blades, man.
I just remember, there was a KMC where Vu and I played in top 8. Shoutouts to you, Vu, if you're watching this. I doubt it.
I'll make him watch it for this.
But, top 8 of a KMC. I've got double Nyx in hand and a Lyra. That's when we played the 4-Civ 50-card dragon bullshit.
Oh my god, I remember this Roanoke, yeah.
Yeah, it was Roanoke. And, I played 2 Nyx, and I was like, I've got Lyra, like, Herald, like, I've got all this stuff in my hand, like, ready to go. Summon the second Nyx. I'm like, he's on turn 3. The worst he can do is Bone Blades.
Toxic
Toxic Fogs.
Yeah, he was playing the pile. He just didn't care.
Yeah, that's like some 60 card, crazy, obnoxious.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I just lost.
I remember playing round 1 against one of Jerry Thompson's friends, and like Jerry, like at this event, actually like sort of initiated the light water fire with Jump Jets and Finbar Dragon Train.
Yeah.
And we were playing like the 4-color dragons, like Carl said, basically the same build, maybe the same build if I remember correctly.
It was close. Yeah.
I remember like we'd go to game 3, we'd go to time, we're like the last match to play, and I like somehow pull it out just because his friend like hadn't really played Kaijudo much and wasn't really familiar with like all the plays he could make, I guess. And at the end of the match, I was just sitting there thinking, yeah, I won. My deck's also just strictly worse. Why is my deck so bad? And I was just mad after I won. I was like, oh my god, why is this deck so big?
That was a big revelation for us that tournament. So
like, he Finbarred with Herald out, and he's like drawing cards and dropping dragons, and I'm like, Jesus, this is an interaction. Why isn't every deck that can attack running Finbar? And we know. Question. Except for Rush.
Oh, so here's a game. So now I've got to decide all the interactions that have happened so far. He summoned a lot of birds, and then he summoned a Herald. Or not a Herald, but a Hyperspeed for 2 mana.
So I should play that guy around too. My bad.
And now we've got a little bit of a trade war going on. So the first game was me tempoing out. The second game was him dragoning out. Now we've got a little back and forth match. Nothing's really set in stone yet.
It's really not a game of Kaijudo to me unless a Lyra targets a Lyra at some point.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest.
It's like turn 6 trades.
Yeah, this is like the play that defines Kaijudo for me. If I had to pick one, it's Lyra. That's the name of the play. That's exactly what you say. That's what happens.
So you're in an interesting predicament here. You can attack my laws, but then that will mean that you're trading your Hyperspeed and your Lux for my board.
Yeah, because obviously the Lux has given me an advantage in this scenario, because if he trades Lyras, I just sack my 2-mana Lux, and I don't really care about Lux. It comes down to how much I care about laws, which is probably just not a lot, because it's not going to kill me this next turn. Like, if he was threatening lethal and he had a hexproof guy, probably make a bad trade to save myself, but it's not the situation.
And that's not barring too that I just have some form of balance. That's always a possibility.
I'm also thinking about my hand, because I think I have a low amount of cards. One of them is like a 9-drop dragon. Maybe it's my only card, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to sack Lux no matter what. This kind of sucks. Maybe I never play my Andromeda. Like, usually I'm okay with simplifying the board because I can play more threats, but I'm low on threats. It's a rarity. I might not be able to play a threat in a while. Here comes Finbar.
Yes. I actually top deck that one.
And you're debating on what to bounce, but the Lux just has to be right, because you don't want to trade your Lyra for the Lux.
Yeah. And that's what I do want to do. I do want to trade that Lyra for Lyra.
Yeah.
I bat my hands out of the way.
No, you made me think about it, yeah, because,
part of me thinks, too, it's like, what if I just bounce Lyra and start breaking shields? Like, can I mount something that way? But I'm pretty sure my hand doesn't allow for that.
Yeah, it's really aggressive, and it also, cause you can't get rid of Hyperspeed in that case, so then if I draw Herald, I just kill you.
And that means that I have to top deck into some other form of bounce, too. Like, it's just, I can't just break 2 shields like an ape. Like, it can't be done.
I think this trade's probably fine for you. Like, either the Laws is just in a really bad spot right now because it's not pressuring me, and I have the Hyperspeed out, which is like the card that always enables the Herald. And you saw me keep a card in my hand at 6 mana last turn, so you have to assume it's a dragon of some sort.
This whole game, I figured it was either Andro or Cass.
Did I already put the Infernus down this game?
Yeah, Infernus is in mana.
Yeah. Sometimes it's gotta be like that.
Yeah, you've already got some hefty dragons in there. A lot of good cards in your mana zone there, sir.
We gotta play the good cards to play the good cards.
All right. When your whole deck's good cards, good things happen.
I guess the worst card in this matchup's like Logo Scan, and it's still fine.
Oh, birds. All right, so now I've got a cool play with Arbiter. That was the card that I held.
Yeah, that card pooped on me just now.
Yeah, it did.
Because I had to play that. This was like I was debating this turn too. I was like, maybe I just play the Lux in mana, because I need a card draw, but who needs Lux, really?
And I think about this for a second, but it's just right to kill the Lux here.
Yeah. Like, what do you think about that? Should I have just played Lux in mana and just summon the Nyx just to increase my mana guarantee? Like, putting the Lux in mana as a guaranteed +1.
That's fair. I've done that before. But
I had to sack that Herald out.
You did. That was right off the top, and that hurts.
I'm fairly certain that I was on the path to losing in a couple turns if I didn't draw that Herald. It would have helped to play Lux in mana. I think that was probably a misstep on my part. But.
Yeah. The good news is here I've got a Homunculon, so I can just kill Herald. And then you're still at 6 mana.
Yeah, you only have to deal with my Andromeda and 7 shields.
If I can bounce the Andro back, like it's not coming back. Like that's a really nice silver lining about where you're at right now.
And I realized that too. I'm like, wait a minute.
You got some shields out of it. You got a big dragon, but
the one possible downside of cheating something out on like turn 2, if it gets bounced, they're gonna have to wait to replay it.
Yep. So got rid of the card that will continue to do that, and now I just have to put that Andrew back in his hand. Keep a couple guys on board. Like a Finbar this next turn would be absolutely insane. The bad news is here, spoiler alert, I'm not going to find one.
No. That takes all the fun out of it.
So we've got again, this is an interactive game. Holy cow. We're doing things.
I don't know what I drew there, but apparently it wasn't worth... I think it was a piercing judgment. I was debating like putting it... I don't know. I don't even know if it was a piercing, because I think I would have played a piercing. Maybe I wouldn't have played a piercing. Maybe it was a Finbar. No, I would have played that. I don't know what I drew, man. I just don't know.
Perhaps another big Dargon?
I don't know, man. Just don't know. Because I have to start valuing my mana pretty highly. Like, I gotta play something down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't play a damn thing.
No, I'm just untapping, I think.
Okay. I was like, wait.
I just do that.
I've got to play something. I think I have an idea what I'm going to do. Okay, yeah, so I have a piercing.
So you drew into that one, perhaps?
Maybe I was just waiting to bounce something that didn't have a good come into play effect, because you had like a tick and a homunculus, and I'm like, we don't want to give you either of those back. Sword of Wind's a nice target.
That's fair.
I might have went for like a Hive Queen too. Like, I might need an answer for Hive Queen. And, Lightwater Fire Dragons doesn't have Terror Pit. It doesn't have any actual kill. So bouncing something that costs like 9 mana total is probably the best thing you're going to do. But Carl has a lot of mana.
Yeah, and I did get a Rusalka back. So now I'm trying to set up for Hive Queen Rusalka next turn. That's the goal here. So I'm hoping he just whiffs this turn, and then I can do a lot of things next turn and sort of get my momentum back. Skycrusher is what you held.
Yeah, that's a good thing to hold. Yeah, because it's like realistic that I'm going to play it in a few turns and I drew Piercing. That makes sense.
So yeah, that's the thing that I didn't want him to, whiff on. And it stinks here because I do a fucking multi-civ. Piercing. Like, Rusalka would have been so much better here, but it is what it is. What's one more body? So here I'm just, let's go for bounce.
And he gets it!
We got it!
That's a swing turn.
We got it! Alright, so now breaking 2 shields is just right. So, come on me. Let's do it. Let's think about it, and then let's do it. Break them.
I was actually kind of hoping you would break. I don't know. I kind of want the dudes. Yeah. I feel like if I get any good blasts, but
that's the thing. You got a lot of big guys in hand. You don't have a bird. Like, a lot of your birds are just dead. Like, Skycrusher is what I'm thinking is your best play, so even if I don't break shields here, you're still playing Skycrusher. Like, I'm thinking that's just, like, the best card in your hand right now.
This is a rare case where if I had, like, even if I could play, like, an Infernus the Awaken this turn, which I can't because it's obviously in mana, but, like, you have a board that actually can contest it. Like, if you had a Lyra 2 in your hand, like, you could just like, race me down. Maybe. But, either way, Hive Queen's getting some multiple triggers.
And now, this is the fun part. We had this conversation on camera while we were recording this. I get to stack my deck now. I've got this many cards in my deck, so I know exactly what's happening now, because I Hive Queen last turn, Hive Queened again this turn, and now Mana Tick. So I've got my whole deck set up. I know exactly what the plays are now.
Hey, Storm Spark Blast. It's important when you're playing Megabugs, for all of you, again, going to those KMCs this weekend. Make sure, when you play those early Mana Ticks, or even like a turn 6 on-curve Hive Queen, the game may still go long, even if you drew those cards, so, like, keep an awareness of what you're putting down there. Like, not only which cards you're not going to have in shields, which is, like, the only thing people mostly think about, but, like, if you draw them again, when you actually want to draw them. Like, try to, like, form a semblance of a plan. It's not going to be right all the time, but it's nice to at least know where you're putting things.
Yep, and it matters here a lot, because with 8 cards in my deck, I know what the next card coming off the top is, and, I guess I could spoil it, but...
No, don't spoil it.
That's fine. We'll talk about it after it happens.
Carl has a plan, and he's he mentions me playing Andro, and I'm like, I have to. Gotta play the Andro, and I think this is like a fine turn. I've had pretty decent trades here. I can kill that, I can kill that.
Yeah, all for a Lux. So, here come the cool things.
Yeah, what happened there was like the Skycrusher traded with the...
So, Blinder Beetle Prime was the card that was in my hand. I drew into Broodmom, because I knew it was going to happen. And I'd set up the Hive Queen off the top of the last Hive Queen that played. So Hive Queen comes down, and now I know that the next card, the very bottom one in that top 3, is going to be my Rusalka to throw back the Andro.
Yep.
So now I get to
How many cards did you go through that turn? Like
all of them.
The
Every
Brood
single
Mother
one.
was 2, Hive Queen was 3, and Mana. Oh wait, well that was it. Sorry, there's only like 6 cards left.
Yeah.
Tops.
Well, I've got like 4 cards left in deck now, and I've got a game plan to win because I think the last card in my hand is something relevant. I think it's the last card in my hand is Swordhorned, and I know that the Blinder Beetle Prime is now on top. So, barring anything absolutely insane, I can win this game next turn.
And I think hard about this play, and it's actually a bad thing for me that this Strider is on the board, because like my Skycrusher really needs to kill a Double Breaker here. Like it looks like it really wants to kill that Lyra, and I just don't have enough mana to deal with the blocker and replay Andro, and I'm thinking really hard, like, do I really need to replay Andro? I have other plays too. I think I had a potentially better play. I had Finbar and a blocker. I could Finbar the blocker, kill the Lyra, set up a blocker for the Hive Queen and Rusalka, and if you can't deal with the blocker, I'm like, maybe I don't actually lose. Like, I might still have to, like, pray for a blast, but it's likely that the blocker could just stick. Because I know your card's like a Swordhorned right now. So, like, if you don't top an answer, but I just don't know if there's an answer left because I'm bad. So, like, I think in retrospect, like, Finbar blocker, like, it has merit, right? Like, it's not bad. It's Finbar Strider.
But I think the shields are just always better.
But, like, if I play the shields and you get any other creature, like, you can actually just still threaten lethal no matter what. Yeah. Like, and with the blocker, maybe you can't threaten lethal. So that's a consideration.
That's the idea.
But either way, that Strider's biting at this turn.
Yeah. Again, another long turn at a sped up game.
And this is a very important turn.
Yeah, it is. Did it freeze?
No.
No. Okay. you just held your hands really still.
Because I really don't want to play Andro. Like, you have so many things right now. You can just play around All Strike, kind of. As long as you can play 2 creatures this turn.
I like that you still know the name. I wouldn't have been able to guess that.
Oops. It's all second nature. That's the secondary effect of Andromeda, guys. The one that makes them tap things when they attack you.
Be all struck. So this is a good game. This has been, like, even it's sped up, it's been almost 15 minutes now.
So I just decide for the Andro. Because, like, I'm also giving myself the potential to get Shield Blast, too. Like, that's another thing. Like, the blocker could potentially save me, but so could Shield Blast. And I'm giving myself more of an opportunity to have them.
Running out dudes. Again, knew it was happening. Blinder Beetle Prime is on the top of my deck now. So,
it's interesting that you actually got the effect there. Like, could you have chosen not to get the Hive Queen effect?
I could have. But I don't think it really matters at this point.
I don't know. Maybe.
So, you have to bottle into an answer for either Lyra or Rusalka.
And I was just like, yep, it makes total sense that this game would come down to bottle.
And you're disappointed.
Yeah, I get a Jump Jets. Congratulations. I mean, usually it would be even worse because Carl could draw a card off the laws, but at this point he's not really in the mood to draw cards.
Yep. And here comes Rusalka.
And I'm like, tap something, Carl. Tap something. You do. Pearson!
Man! You always lose to Blast, guys. It's just how it goes.
And I would have had that one, too. That was like the one in the shield that was already there, I think.
Man.
Feels good, man.
Man.
Now you know how I felt in top 4 with that Arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about right, Dragons things always just work out for dragons, it's just the name of the game.
It didn't work out game 1, man. We've seen it not work out.
I mean, well, that's fine, but this wasn't a back and forth. Like, I wanted to win this war. I was feeling good about this war.
But Carl, I have so many cards in my hand right now. I obviously have Hyperspeed and Herald.
But the thing is, if you just play another Andro, like, that's the thing. Like, I needed you to not have all of this. Like, it was just too much.
Yeah.
Because I know Blinder Beetle's on top. If you can just, like, say, like, if one thing can stick, I'm good. But then the second Andro comes down with you being able to kill 3 more things that I didn't want you to be able to kill.
And now I just need to live this turn because you have 1 card in your deck.
Yep. If I had 1 more creature in my hand, could win this game. How crazy is that?
The funny thing about this, too, is that, like, after Carl makes these attacks and breaks all my shields, I was thinking about ways to potentially still survive. I was like, alright, I can Finbar my own Andromeda back, Herald attack over laws, replay the Andromeda, but Carl's like, wait, I'm dead, I have 1 card in my deck.
It's the last card, yeah. That's it. I draw that and I lose.
Yeah. I'm playing too much Hearthstone, guys. When the deck is gone, you're dead. As it turns out in this game.
Oh.
I don't really know if that's a good rule. Like, maybe it should be when you can't draw anymore. I don't know. We discussed that a lot when the game was actually around.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're not running pile versus pile, games can, your deck can just be gone sometimes. Yeah. Maybe it's a good rule.
Perhaps. But
it just feels bad that last card doesn't see play.
Just feels bad that, man, what a war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean,
there were a lot of turns that just
things
changed so much.
All things considered, you had a big board. Like, I was probably just losing after that turn.
Was this the game where, like, I topped the Herald with the hyperspeed out and I got to play the Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
That was this game? Yeah, I could have just lost turns ago. But, you know, I sacked the Herald. Then Carl could have just lost right there, but he had, like, you know, the pressure plays with the bounce.
I stacked my deck, guys.
Yeah, and then later, I had this big defensive play, and then Carl would have lost if he hadn't known exactly where all the cards were, and then I would have lost if I didn't have a Shield Blast, or maybe if I played the Finbar, but that would have been better, who knows. Then I still needed to have, like, another Andro in my hand, which was the third one, because one was in mana, one was already played. It's like, there were a lot of, and I had cards left. I could have just not had Andro, and then if I didn't, I just would have lost still.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
Like, for all things considered, that was probably just one of the better games this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think of, like, times in Kaijudo's history when a game has been more long and back and forth.
Yeah.
That might have gone down in feature match history. Game 4.
Oh, I took a giant deuce this morning. That was grand.
The whole first floor of this house smells real bad, guys. I walked downstairs into a cloud.
The booth is on fire.
Ooh, actually, yeah.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Tick on 3.
Oh! Did you whiff? You whiffed, though. Did you not?
I
you got something? Alright, whatever. I'm always really excited when I think you whiff off Mana Tick, because it never happened.
I think I whiffed game 1, actually.
God, for all those people that don't know, we had, like, a test session, because sometimes we would have test sessions for, like, a few hours and, like, grind our decks for KMCs. And I just remember being all kinds of upset. I don't even know what I was playing, but I was like, yeah. And Gorby came over. I was like, yeah, of course Carl fucking won. He had Mana Tick on turn 3, 7 out of 7 games, and never whiffed on it. Like, it was, like, those were actually the statistics. Yeah. And when there was no mulligans, like, I was just losing my mind. I was like, how are you doing this? Yeah, you should probably just run Megabugs, King of Megabugs.
And thus they were born.
It was like 7 out of 7 games. It was absolutely tilting.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Rusaka's coming in for that Strider. I'm feeling good because I have a bird.
And I just want to kill the bird. And I can do it next turn. I'm pretty sure that last card in my hand's a Lyra.
I'm pretty sure I have a Lyra because you always have a Lyra when you're playing Dragons.
So it's like Finbar Lyra, I think.
Why do you always have a Lyra when you're playing Dragons? I mean, obviously you never really put it down in mana, but like, it's just always a turn 5 Lyra.
Yeah. Now you know how this is how I feel when you felt about the Tick.
Yeah.
Always with the Dargans. Always.
Sorry.
Shoutouts to no fire mana though. The old staple light water Dargans.
I think the only balanced thing about Dragons is that Lyra is the only good turn 6 dragon. But it's also like the best turn 6 play in the game in a vacuum. Like it's better than Finbar against the like.
It's also a really good turn 5 play.
Yeah, it is. Can't play Finbar on 5 in this deck. I guess we bottle into it. Also, I was thinking, like, maybe... I kept, like, the bottle for, like, the first couple turns. I was like, maybe if I don't draw a Lyra, I just bottle on 5. And against a board of Tick Homunculon, bottle on 5 could have been good. And then you have the Finbar, and I'm like, wow, maybe bottle was the play. If I had just gotten bottle into Infernus, I would have won.
Yeah, the disappointing thing here is that I had Piercing in hand. Or I drew Piercing when I had the Hive Queen and Finbar. And I really wanted to keep that Hive Queen in my hand. Because it just would have been really good next turn to save either one of those bugs that you keep held down. Probably just all Homunculon.
It'd be interesting if we use bugs for the next bracket tournament if you want to like go down on the multi-sip count a little bit. Because like you mentioned that like 3 times so far this match. Is that you had a good play, but you would have had a better play if you could just...
Yeah, it happens. It happens more often than I want it to. A lot.
So I'm keeping the Homunculon tapped, even though I'd rather kill Finbar because I just don't want Carl to draw extra cards, and I know he wants to attack the Lux.
Yep.
That's pretty good for him. Because now I can't immediately threaten to kill the Finbar. So even if I tap another one of the attackers, he still gets a draw if he wants.
Homunculon just stays sleeping.
Yeah, like, Homunculon is just the pick, too. Because, like, Swordhorn's bigger, but Finbar has a better effect, but Homunculon evolves.
Yeah, I could just top a Hive Queen, and then you could just lose.
Yeah.
That's no good. So, really wanted to draw another Homunculon here, but sadly it's just the laws. Any sort of other
Prime would have been pretty good, too.
Yeah.
That's just all my shields gone.
You do get a Blasty Blast, though.
I do. Is it a good one?
I don't know.
I think it's a Storm Spark, and I'm like, this isn't good. Because I don't really care about killing Finbar, and you're probably just going to maybe attack.
Yeah. And if you Storm Spark, I just draw one more card with laws.
I probably would have done it if you hadn't had the laws, just so I could definitely kill the Finbar. Maybe. It's a possibility. Laws changes the nature of most spells.
Yeah.
Makes them all a lot worse.
So here I'm feeling okay. Like, he's got a big dragon that finally stuck. No fire mana though, so I'm just, I'm waiting for like the Herald jump jets. I'm like, when's it gonna happen?
Yeah. I don't know. I bottle into jump jets, but I don't really draw it too
And
often. God, that was such a bad bottle, man.
Yeah.
It's literally the worst bottle in the deck.
Yeah. It's appropriate. You still won.
Has anyone ever like had 10 mana but not a jump jets or a fast attack enabler for Herald and like needed the trigger for some reason? Like they couldn't just play the dragon. They like played Herald, then hard casted bottle and prayed for jump jets. Like, oh please, I need this 1 mana jump jets.
Oh, I hope not.
Can't ever be necessary.
Like for 10 mana, you could just play the dragon.
That's what I'm saying. Not if it's Immolator.
No. Oh, you Finbard. So we're doing things.
Yeah.
I'm playing Swordhorns on Swordhorns, which is a mistake. I'm about to take one of those back and play the bug down.
Yeah, because that's just if I have like an Infernus, right? That you can't replay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're scared of Infernus. Not many
Yeah.
people would play around Infernus at this point, but you're playing around it because you know.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
And now it's tough for me to decide. I just don't attack here. Like I want to really bad, but losing those 2 cards is all my momentum, and you don't have to do anything to make me lose that momentum except attack next turn.
I know I already have an Andro, so I'm like, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited
and that's
to
the
get to my
thing.
turn.
Like I attack those 2 shields. If you have Andro, which I always just assume you do, you just get those 2 shield backs. You kill those 2 cards, and now I'm just behind by way more than I need to be. I'd rather you just play Andro, get some shields, pass to me, so I can potentially do something about that and draw a bunch.
Here's something. Have I played any Fire Mana yet? Nope, just blue-white dragons.
Still no fire. So now I play out the cards. I drew the Risaka, which is good. So now I'm going to draw a bunch and just kind of hope for the best here.
Oh, I like this turn coming up
You
because
did.
this is a 10 mana
Yeah.
turn.
You got
That Arbiter was good too.
You got the Arbiter. Yeah, I needed to break that last shield. That was sort of important, but things are about to get out of hand.
So the only bad thing about this play is I only have 3 fire cards in my hand, and it's Infernus, Herald of Infernus, Hyperspeed, Infernus the Awakened, I think? I don't even know.
That's 4 cards.
I know. I changed my mind. But I remember I was trying to string together like a Herald into Infernus the Awakened play. That would have been sweet, or with Hyperspeed, like Hyperspeed Herald, then like attack with Hyperspeed, attack with Herald, get another Herald, attack with Herald, get an Infernus, kill something, attack with Infernus. But then I'm like, screw it, I need fire mana, and Andromeda's probably just better, so I'm going to put down one of the Heralds.
Alright.
I don't know.
This is that turn when that happened. Oh, yeah.
Because I knew you probably wouldn't be able to win after this turn, I was just trying to figure out the best flashy way to do this.
Right. And that's fair, because last game was pretty
Was it pretty, Carl?
It was pretty flashy, and it's going to be hard to top a game like that. But here we go. The old Herald Hyperspeed on 10 mana with the finally getting fire mana.
Yep, and I get to draw this whole turn with Finbar. Just in case I need the cards, which I really don't. But just in case I didn't already have an Andro, I could have drawn into one.
And now I'm just crying because I know the whole board's dead, and everything that I've tried to do this whole game was for naught.
Swordhorn's still there, Carl.
He's hanging out. He's my buddy.
Yeah.
So now I'm just chilling with 4 cards in hand. Less cards than you have in hand still.
Yeah.
And much less cards on board than you have.
Yeah, and that's a lot of glare.
Yeah,
on that Infernus, the Herald of Infernus. Thanks, non-glare sleeves. Way to market. Is that okay to say?
That's fine.
I mean, they could just be non-glare.
The rest of them doing their job. Oh, I'm gonna Finbar back that Andro because I just want to lose some more.
I don't know. It's like you
Kill
always
that
have
Herald.
to Finbar it, but you can't Finbar it.
Fuck that card.
I don't know.
Man, it's just sad. Like, I wanted Bugs to at least take it to Game 5. I wanted one more solid win because I was just so tilted after losing that war. Like, I wanted to win it so bad. I planned it out.
It was because of Shield
like
Blast.
4 turns of just planned out perfection just to lose to a piercing. Like, it hurts. It really does suck.
There's Infernus the Awakened. Just,
we made it.
In case Carl had plays.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I
A
don't really need
whole hand. I can't play a card in my hand. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I can't do it.
No, you can play that.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
I played a Lyra. But now it's just all over.
I need to untap my Lyra is what I'm going to do.
And I'm really upset because you're about to play your own Lyra and then just not attack.
Yeah, because I potentially could win, but, if you get a blast, I don't win. So I'm just going to wait another turn because I can.
Well, again, we come to that point, like we said in the second game, where I need to have Piercing, and Piercing has to bounce the Infernus because I just lose otherwise. Like, there's no way you can lose this game at this point.
But let me wait, man. Let me wait.
You can have it. It's fine.
I could play another Android next
Look
turn
at
and go back
all
up to
the
5
cards.
shields.
Look at them all. They're just all over the place. just gonna keep lying down your.
One of the larger boards we've seen so far. Rivals a board that the pilot could create.
Yeah.
There's another fast attacker.
Yep.
Oh, I'm trying to play this right because I know like they only cost like 3 apiece, thanks to the birds.
And you're not drawing cards.
I just double piercing your dudes. Why not? You can't play them both again.
You're right. Hey, look, piercing. Ah, 2 piercings.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's like 6 things and one of them's hexproof. So 4 are gonna be neutralized here.
Yeah, just get rid of those hyperspeeds. They're done.
You asked me what I would like to attack with most, and I'm like, keeper laws. I don't care.
And just that's the game.
Thing. Even though Infernus the Awakened could never attack, it couldn't work.
For all of you who voted for dragons, it takes it in 3-1 fashion.
Yep.
You know, some pretty, I'd say, better games than the first or second time we recorded this.
And actually, you know what's interesting about the top 4? Every single match was a reverse sweep. Like, yeah, Lightwater Dark Tempo versus Megabugs. Lightwater Dark took the first game, then got reverse swept 2-0. Dragons versus Pile. Dragons lost the first game to Pile and then took it 2-0. And then, you know, in this match, obviously, Megabugs won the first game and then got 3-0'd.
Yeah.
Interesting how that happens. It's like the comebacks were real.
How about it? Are we still recording?
Yeah, you are. Just stop recording, so you haven't stopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the ticker didn't.
That's because the video's over.
I guess that's fine. But, yeah, all you guys who voted for Lightwater Fire Dragons, I will be heading over to the Facebook right after this match goes up. And, you know, congratulating the winners of Lightwater Fire Dragons. We'll probably wait like a day so people can actually watch the video and hype themselves up, I guess.
But if you comment after the video goes up, you're not going to be eligible. Cheaters.
I mean, that's fine. You can be that hall monitor.
No, that's your job.
All right. But yeah, stay tuned because we've got tons of prizes for all you guys who were who voted correctly over the past earlier in the week.
And for those of you who voted incorrectly, don't worry, you'll have another chance next year.
Yeah. So stay tuned. CVH and I will probably be recording our post-bracket tournament thoughts, seeing as how we were a major part of almost all of it, with the exception of Gorby and Spencer for like a game and a half. Or half a game, literally, because Spencer just coached.
Oh, jeez.
Fun fact, we recorded everything twice.
Every single match. Except, like, some of them, you know, were different matches because the decks didn't do the same as they did the first time.
Bracket A, Bracket B, and the finals. Finals got recorded 3 times.
Well, top 4 got recorded twice, and the final match got recorded twice?
Top 4 got recorded 3 times.
What, 3 times?
No, it did. It was twice. You're right.
God.
It was twice. Finals was twice. It just happened, like, sporadically.
Next year, we're going for, like, you know, we're going to try to make the first run-through correct. Everything's going to be on point. We're going to be ready.
We're going to build decks correctly.
We are not going to do it at 2 a.m. while drinking wine.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. So, stay tuned for a little bit more content. We'll let you know channel directions and all that other fun stuff coming up. When you guys can expect maybe more Kaijudo down the line, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the futures for CVH and I coming up. Because we've got some cool things we may or may not be doing in the next month or 2.
Yeah, definitely doing.
So, yeah, no, for sure. I just kind of want to hype them up while I'm thinking, like, what could it be? All right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Check out the social
Thanks for watching
links.
this whole tournament. We love you.
Yeah, you know, you guys are fantastic. CVH is on Twitch and Twitter.
Links down below, I hope.
Yep. Head over to the Facebook page to see all the giveaway stuff that we will be doing for those of you who voted correctly. And on that note, we'll see you guys next time. Peach.